Hi, it's Donna Stiteler here. I'm the Cuenca, Ecuador correspondent for International Living, and today we're going to talk about climate and when to visit Ecuador. First of all, let me tell you, the weather here in Ecuador had me at hello. After years of living in Florida, oh my gosh, it was so hot. They were telling you to wear oven mitts when you drove. And it was so hot, they said don't go out during the day because you could get heat stroke. I wanted to live in a place where I could get out every day, any time of the day, and enjoy the outdoors and go for a walk. And this turned out to be the perfect decision for me, is that I found that in the Andes I could walk anytime I wanted. And because of that, I lost 20 pounds. What's not to love? Anyway, Ecuador has some of the best weather on the planet, and that's because it's a combination of the equator, the Andes Mountains with its high altitude, and tropical rains in the rainforest. And those things combined really give us a unique combination of very temperate weather. So it makes it possible for you to come here and just pick the climate you want. But first, let's have a little geography lesson. This is my favorite, because once you sort of understand it, then there's no problem. You'll get why it's not too hot and not too cold here. The climate here depends largely on where you live. So Ecuador is sort of chunked into three different kind of areas. First, you have the coast, and that's going to have warm weather and sunny. Then you have the Andes Mountains, which have a lot more like fall weather. And then you have the Amazon, which is rainy but warm. And of course, the Galapagos Islands, which are sunny and bright every day. So because the equator runs right in the middle, just sort of imagine, what if you took Denver or Colorado and placed the mountains right next to it? You know, you just go up a little in the altitude and it gets cooler, but you're sitting on the equator, so we are the closest to the sun. So it's that cool mix and ocean breezes that gives you this really great weather that it really only varies about 20 degrees per day every year, every day of the year. The other thing that's sort of cool is you do get 12 hours of direct sunlight, and that allows the land to warm up really quickly. So it warms up pretty quick during the day in Ecuador, and then at night when the sun goes down, it cools off. The sun, this is something took me a little bit of time to get used to, but the sun rises at 6:30 a.m. every day and sets at 6:30 p.m. every day. It's like living in Groundhog Day. So you do get that 12 hours of sunlight every day, but it's the same window every day all year long. Here's another thing that's sort of tricky is we're in the southern hemisphere, and because of that, our winters and our summers are exactly the opposite than the northern hemisphere. So when I'm talking to my sisters and it's, oh, it's so hot outside, I can't go out. It's winter and I've got on a jacket. It also is divided into wet and dry seasons. And those are more why it has spring-like and fall-like temperatures, because again, the degrees are only going to go up 20 degrees a day. You know, that's the range, really the range all year. So it's not the traditional spring, summer, fall, winter. You're really going to have spring and fall, and they're really going to be geared more to the wet and dry seasons. The dry season is from July through December, and most of the rain is in April, and the wet season is January through June. So that's just a few tips about our geography. that'll help you see that you go short distances and you can really pick the climate you want. Okay, let's take a closer look at some of the popular areas that expats live in. We're going to talk about two areas, the coastal and the Andes. Now the coast, you know, I lived in Florida, so it was hot in the summer. But you'll find that the coast here is temperate all year long. And the temperature is usually around 75 degrees Fahrenheit to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's like perfect weather. Now this is because there's a lot of cool ocean currents that float up the coast of Ecuador. So you don't really get all that hot sun. It's all cool breezes. So that's one thing that's really good. Now, again, the rainy season, January through April is the rainiest part. And it's a little more warmer the more south you are on the coast. It gets a little bit more cooler when you go up. So really the coast where there are popular towns like Guayaquil or Salinas or Puerto López, most of the time those are going to be what you call a tropical savanna to a desert. And then when you get more to the top, you're going to get more of a tropical rainforest by the ocean. So that's sort of the rule of thumb to remember when you're looking at the coast. Now when you're in the Andes, pretty much when you're all the way, Cotacachi is north of Quito, and then Cuenca, you're going to get more weather that is more fall-like, a little bit cooler. Anywhere from 59 to 79 is usually what you get. The altitudes really predict the coolness. So the further up you go, in Quito and Cuenca are about 8,000 altitude. You're going to get more of a fall-like, but it's warm every day as well. I'll explain in a minute. The rainy season is January through June, and the dry season is from July until December. But most of the rain falls in April. June is usually a pretty clear month, but it's the end of the rainy season, so you know, you don't know. What they say about Ecuador, and this is sort of cool no matter where you are in Ecuador, you get, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. The weather is pretty much the same every day. In fact, this is how people dress here. In the mornings, they're typically bright and sunny, but whereas in the afternoons you might get some rain. So you start your day with a light jacket in the morning, and then about 11 o'clock it starts to get warm. And like I'm in the Andes, I take my jacket off and just go in short sleeves around noon. Around 3 o'clock it might start to have some clouds roll in. And so that's when I'm going to get my rain jacket. Everybody carries a rain jacket in Ecuador. I think it's a requirement. But anyway, you're prepared for rain. And the rains aren't usually like all day long. Usually it's a pocket of rain, and it may be raining in one section of town and not in the other section of town. So it's sporadic and short term. Then at night, remember how I said when the sun goes down, it gets a little cooler. I usually put on a jacket, maybe something a little heavier than this if it's in our winter. But again, from summer to winter, the variance overall, you know, is not that different. So that really adds to something else that I think is what I tell people that come to visit me all the time is because the weather is so similar all year long that you might want to look at coming during one of our events. And I love particular times during the year here. For instance, Carnival. Carnival is in March. Carnival is the equivalent of Mardi Gras. And so you see fiestas and parades every day. They like to have little water gun fights, nothing malicious. It's all in good fun. The men like to dress up, these old big hairy men in dresses, and ride the buses. It's all just part of the fun. So it's just a jolly, great, fun time to come, and it's 4 days. So you can enjoy it multiple times. Cuenca's independence from Spain is November, and I love people to come visit me then because there's this huge indigenous fair. And there are booths set all up and down the Vilcabamba River in downtown El Centro area. And they have all kinds of crafts and woodworks and bands playing and street performances and beautiful textiles. It's from all the indigenous people around Ecuador come and sell their wares and demonstrate them to really vendors from throughout the world that like to come here and put in orders. The other time that I think is just absolutely must see, and I love it in Cuenca, it's big, in Salinas, all over the country. Christmas in Cuenca, we have this great parade called Paso del Niño. Got to practice my Spanish. Anyway, it's where all the little girls and the little boys escorting them get dressed up in traditional uniforms and outfits, and the girls sit on top of these elaborately decorated horses, and they do an 8-hour parade. And as if that's not enough, every Sunday after that, they have a parade where all the outlying districts and cities come in. So there is literally 2 to 3 parades every Sunday as well. So it's just a great remembrance of what Christmas is about because it's primarily a religious holiday. And then as long as you're here, stay through New Year's. Might as well. And there is nothing like New Year's in some of the bigger cities here. Lots of fireworks. I mean, fireworks that I've never seen before. It's like the likes of Disney Plus. Okay. Anyway, beautiful fireworks, and then at midnight you get these dolls that are stuffed with newspaper, and you buy masks to put on them that represent whatever you want to send out with the past. And at midnight, the entire town shows up and they burn effigies, these effigies they've made, and they tuck in there the things that they were like bad things that happened that they want to release and hopes for good things, and then they eat 12 grapes. So anyway, next time you're planning your trip to Ecuador, remember climate's one thing, and you pretty much can hit good weather no matter when, and if not, make sure you come on an event so you get to at least enjoy that as well. So this is me signing off, and buena suerte and ciao, which means good luck and goodbye, and until next time.